There's something your body may be quietly battling right now, without any signs or warnings. It's invisible, silent, and deadly when ignored. Blood clots. They don't knock on the door before they strike, and for many over 60, they appear as sudden chest pain, breathlessness, swollen legs, or worse, when it's already too late. And yet, nature, quietly, gently, may already offer part of the answer. Because there are 14 everyday fruits, simple, delicious, and powerful, that may help your body dissolve these clots naturally. You won't hear this in every doctor's office, but you deserve to know. There's something deeply unsettling about the things we can't see, the quiet, hidden changes in our bodies that give no warning and often strike without mercy. And as we grow older, we learn that not all threats come with flashing lights. Some creep in silently, tucked away beneath the surface, waiting for a moment of weakness. Blood clots are one of those silent threats. They don't come with fanfare. They don't ask permission. One moment you feel fine, just a little tired maybe, a little swelling in the leg, or a bit of tightness in the chest. The next, you could be in the ER facing a life-threatening emergency you never saw coming. For those of us in our 60s, 70s and beyond, this is more than just a health fact. It's reality. The risk of developing a clot increases with age. And not because we're doing something wrong, but because our circulation begins to slow, our mobility sometimes decreases, and our bodies naturally become more prone to inflammation and thickened blood. But here's the hardest part. In many cases, there are no signs, no pain, no warning, no second chance. That's what makes blood clots so dangerous. Not the dramatic outcome, but the way they hide in plain sight until the damage is done. Many people believe it only happens to others. The young and strong often shrug it off, but those of us who've lived long enough know better. We've seen friends suddenly hospitalized, neighbors who went to bed and didn't wake up, family members who were healthy one day and fighting for their lives the next. It's heartbreaking, but it's not hopeless. Because while blood clots are silent, our choices can speak loudly. This isn't about living in fear. It's about awareness, and using that awareness to make wise decisions. Decisions that protect not just our lifespan, but also our quality of life. Think about it. Every step we take, every meal we prepare, every bite of food we choose, these are all conversations with the body. And the body listens carefully. It responds in ways we can't always see at first, but over time, the message becomes clear. So what's the message we want to send? We want our blood to flow freely, not too thick, not too thin. We want our veins open, our hearts strong, and our brains sharp. We want to be able to walk around the block, stand from a chair without dizziness, and sleep through the night without waking in pain. We want freedom in our movement and peace in our health. That's why it's so important, especially after 60, to take steps, however small, that reduce the risk of clots forming in the first place. And yes, that includes things like staying active, drinking water, and knowing the signs of deep vein thrombosis or pulmonary embolism. But more often, it starts with what's on your plate. Because food isn't just about flavor anymore. At this stage in life, it's about fuel, it's about medicine, it's about what you're feeding, not just your belly, but also your blood. That's where certain fruits come in, not as a cure, but as gentle allies. They offer something medications can't always provide: natural support without added strain. They ease inflammation, they improve circulation, they thin the blood slightly, but in a way that feels aligned with the body, not forced upon it. Of course, not all fruits are created equal, and not everybody will respond the same way. That's why it's never about copying someone else's routine. It's about learning, testing, and paying attention. It's about building habits around the idea that prevention is power. Because even though blood clots are invisible, the decisions we make are not. They show up in the way we feel at sunrise, in the calm we carry through the day, in the strength of our steps, the steadiness of our breath, and the ease with which we move through life. And if there's one thing we've learned through the years, it's this: waiting until something breaks is not a plan. Being proactive is not paranoia. It's self-respect. You don't need to overhaul your life to protect yourself. You just need to take the quiet warnings seriously, add the right foods, move a little more, drink a little water, and above all, listen. Because your body still speaks to you even now. It whispers through your energy levels. It nudges you with stiffness or fatigue. It tells you when something isn't quite right. And it thanks you when you finally begin treating it like a lifelong friend instead of an afterthought. So today, as you sit with this message, take a moment to check in with yourself. Are you giving your body what it needs to stay safe from what it can't see? Or are you hoping for luck where wisdom belongs? You deserve more than a chance. You deserve knowledge, clarity, and the quiet confidence that comes from choosing well. Your body is still listening. Now is the time to speak to it with care. There are moments in life when we realize the smallest things often carry the most power, like a quiet sunrise that calms the heart, or a single kind word that turns around a weary day. And in the same way, the simplest foods, like fruits we've known all our lives, may hold unexpected strength when it comes to protecting our health. Especially as we age, the choices we make with our forks become less about appetite and more about nourishment. More about giving the body the support it needs to keep doing what it's been doing for decades, healing, repairing, and carrying us through. One quiet threat that often grows with age is blood clotting. Not the kind you get from a scraped knee or a paper cut. We're talking about internal clots, those invisible buildups in the blood that can silently travel to the heart, lungs, or brain and create sudden, life-threatening problems. And while medications can certainly help, and in many cases are necessary, there's also another side to the story that too few talk about. Nature, in its quiet wisdom, has provided us with fruits that may help support the body's natural ability to prevent and even gently dissolve blood clots over time. You won't find flashy labels on apples or oranges saying clot-busting superfood, and maybe that's why they're so often overlooked. But when you look a little closer, you'll see the science is starting to catch up with what many traditional cultures and long-lived communities already practice. Fruits can do more than feed you. They can protect you. Let's begin with something as familiar as pineapple. Behind its sweet tropical flavor lies an enzyme called bromelain. This compound has been studied for its ability to reduce inflammation and support blood thinning, helping to keep clots from forming where they shouldn't. Some research even suggests bromelain may aid in breaking down existing clots, although it's no substitute for medical care. Still, imagine what a few chunks of pineapple each week could gently offer your body. Then there are the berries: strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries. These little fruits are packed with natural salicylates, compounds that behave similarly to aspirin. They thin the blood ever so slightly and help prevent platelets from clumping together. But they do it in a way that's softer, easier on the body, and without citrus fruits, like oranges, grapefruits, lemons, and limes, don't just brighten your plate. They offer flavonoids and vitamin C, which can help strengthen blood vessels and reduce inflammation, two major factors in preventing unwanted clotting. And squeezing a bit of lemon in your water, that's not just refreshing, it's a habit rooted in protection. Pomegranate is another overlooked treasure. Its deep red juice is rich in polyphenols that have been shown to promote circulation and reduce plaque buildup in the arteries. This means the blood moves more freely, less likely to stall or clump. Add a few spoonfuls of pomegranate seeds to your morning yogurt or afternoon salad. It's both delicious and wise. And then there's kiwi, a soft green fruit that's often forgotten in the back of the fridge. Yet research shows that eating just 2 kiwis a day may help reduce platelet aggregation, again, making the blood less sticky, less likely to form clots that shouldn't be there. Even grapes and cherries, with their deep colors and sweet skins, are full of natural compounds that fight oxidative stress and improve circulation. A handful here and there might do more good than we've ever realized. Tomatoes, though not always thought of as fruits, also play a role, especially in their raw form. They contain lycopene, which supports healthy blood flow and may reduce clot-related risk when included regularly in the diet. Now, none of these fruits are miracle cures. They won't undo years of damage in a day. They won't replace medication when your doctor says you need it. And they won't stop a clot that's already formed and moving dangerously through the body. But they do support your body. They do contribute to the delicate balance between blood that flows and blood that clumps. And when used consistently, with care, and as part of a well-rounded plant-forward diet, they may offer just enough natural help to shift the odds in your favor. Think of it this way: every bite is a choice. Every snack is a moment of care. Every time you reach for fruit instead of processed food, you're not just feeding your hunger, you're feeding your future. And that's the beauty of silent age wisdom. It isn't about fast fixes or loud promises. It's about listening to the whispers of nature and answering with intention. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just start by adding one fruit, something colorful, fresh, rich in what your blood and vessels truly need. Let it be a gift you give yourself, not out of fear but out of love. And over time that love adds up, in strength, in energy, in health, and in peace of mind. Sometimes the best things in life whisper instead of shout. They don't come in shiny bottles or loud promises. They come from quiet, trusted places, like the kitchen counter or the garden or a morning walk through the farmer's market. That's where true health has always lived, close to the earth, close to what's real. As we age, we begin to see health not as something to chase, but something to care for, gently, mindfully, with wisdom born from experience. That's why it's important to understand this. Fruits that may support your blood health don't work like medicine, and they're not meant to. They don't race through your system like pills or injections. They don't silence symptoms in one dose. They don't shock your body into submission. Instead, they offer something much more lasting. They work with your body. They nudge, not force, support, not suppress. They bring balance, not extremes. That's why some of the most powerful foods don't come with warning labels. They come with seeds. They grow in silence. They ripen with time. And they give back to the body with a kind of grace only nature understands. Take something as simple as a fresh orange. It doesn't claim to erase blood clots instantly. It won't give you a sudden rush of healing. But eaten regularly, its vitamin C and flavonoids support your blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and help maintain flow and flexibility in your circulatory system. Now multiply that effect over days, then weeks, then years. That's how true healing happens, not in a moment, but in the steady, quiet rhythm of daily care. Think about berries. A handful here, a sprinkle there. They're rich in antioxidants and natural compounds that may help keep your blood from clotting too quickly or thickly. They're not medicine, but they are powerful when used consistently. This is the beauty of nature's design. It's not trying to fix you. It's trying to support you on your terms, in your time, and the body. It listens. Especially after 60, the body has its own pace. It doesn't respond to pressure the way it once did. It responds to nourishment, to kindness, to routine. It may take weeks before you feel a difference in your legs, in your energy, in your breathing. And that's okay. Real change isn't loud, it's lasting. And so, we must let go of the modern idea that if it's not instant, it's not working. That mindset belongs to youth, to quick-fix culture, to people rushing through life. But at this stage, we know better. We know that slow isn't weak, it's wise. That gentle isn't ineffective, it's sustainable. That the most important changes often start deep inside, far from what the mirror can see. So when we talk about fruits that may help the body dissolve or prevent blood clots, let's remember they are part of the solution, not the whole answer. They are not a replacement for the medications your doctor may prescribe. They are not a miracle cure for decades of wear and tear, and they certainly don't cancel out other poor lifestyle choices. But when paired with movement, hydration, restful sleep, and a mindset of peace, not panic, these fruits can become quiet allies in your journey. That's the essence of silent age wisdom, not pushing your body harder, but supporting it smarter. There's also a sense of harmony in this approach. You begin to see your plate not just as a source of calories, but as a medicine chest. You see that fruit salad is more than just a treat. It's a signal to your heart, your blood, your brain, that you're giving it what it needs to work well, age well, and live well. And maybe even more than that, it's a reminder that you still care, that you're still in the driver's seat, that even after all these years, after raising families, surviving illness, giving to others, your health is still a priority. that you are still worth the effort. And if that effort comes in the form of a morning smoothie, a bowl of fresh berries, or a few slices of kiwi at lunch, then so be it. Let those small acts become your way of saying, I'm still here, and I still want to feel my best. So don't underestimate the power of what seems simple. One fruit won't save you, but consistency might. And when you give your body what it needs over time with patience and love, it responds in ways that go far beyond blood clots. It responds with strength, with clarity, with a quiet sense of balance. And isn't that what we're all looking for in this season of life? Not speed, not shortcuts, just balance, just peace. And maybe, just maybe, one more good year, stronger, clearer, and more present than the one before. There comes a time in life when the question shifts from what's trendy to what's true for me, and that shift hunt is sacred. When we're younger, we often go with the crowd, eating what others eat, doing what we're told, chasing whatever sounds exciting or new. But as we grow older, something deeper takes root. We begin to realize that real health doesn't come from following everyone else. It comes from knowing ourselves. The truth is, no two bodies are the same, not at 25, and certainly not at 65, 75, or 85. So what works beautifully for one person might be completely wrong for another. You've lived through decades of change. You've seen fads come and go, diets rise and fall, and medical advice shift with the seasons. One year it's, don't eat fat. The next it's, eat more fat. Suddenly, everyone's drinking green juice or fasting or eliminating this or that, and the noise can feel endless. But in the quiet moments, those early mornings when the house is still, or those afternoons when you sit with a cup of tea and your thoughts, you know that the answers don't lie in the noise, they lie in you. After a certain age, your body becomes your teacher. It speaks not in words but in signals, subtle, gentle, and wise. Maybe it's the way your joints feel after a certain meal, or the energy you wake up with after a day of nourishing choices. Maybe it's how your mind clears when you drink more water, or how your stomach softens when you skip processed foods. And just like that, you begin to see. The best health plan isn't one size fits all. It's one size fits you. Now let's talk honestly about food, because food is more than fuel. It's emotional, it's cultural, it's tied to memories, habits, family, and even grief. And making changes to the way we eat, especially after decades of living a certain way, isn't easy. But it's not about perfection, it's about attention. When you eat with awareness, when you pause before you bite and ask, will this serve me? You begin a conversation with your body that's more powerful than any diet. It doesn't matter what's trending on television or what some influencer says is the next big thing. What matters is how your body responds, how your heart feels, how your sleep improves, how your digestion eases, how your spirit calms. Because when you choose foods and habits that are aligned with your unique needs, you're no longer guessing, you're listening. This isn't about fear. It's not about avoiding every sugar or counting every calorie. It's about being gentle, being honest, and being curious. You don't need a rigid plan. You need a relationship with your body, your plate, and your own inner compass. Start small. Try one change at a time. Maybe it's adding a handful of berries to breakfast. Maybe it's swapping soda for water with a slice of lemon. Maybe it's skipping one processed snack and replacing it with something fresh and colorful. The point is, you get to choose, not based on pressure, but based on presence. And here's the most beautiful part. Every time you make a choice that feels good, your body thanks you. Not with applause, but with quiet improvements. A little more energy, a little less inflammation, a little more peace. And over time, those small things become everything. So don't let anyone tell you there's only one right way to eat, live, or age. Don't feel pressured by what everyone else is doing. Instead, lean into what your own body has been trying to tell you all along. You already hold the wisdom. You just have to trust it. You've survived, adapted, endured, and learned more than most will ever know. Now it's your time to thrive, not by copying someone else's path, but by walking your own with grace. This is your journey. This is your health. And no trend, no headline, and no diet book will ever know you better than you know yourself. So when you stand in your kitchen tomorrow, Looking at what to eat, what to cook, or what to avoid, pause, take a breath, and ask, what would serve me best today? Then choose from that place, not from fear, but from care. That's what true nourishment looks like. That's what aging with strength and dignity feels like. That's what silent age wisdom is all about. There's a quiet kind of power that comes with age, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that knows, the power to pause before reacting, to question before accepting, to choose with care, not just curiosity. You see, when we're younger, we often chase health like it's something outside of us, something to catch up with, something someone else needs to give us. We follow whatever the latest trend is, hoping it might be the missing piece. But there comes a time in life when we stop running and start listening, because after 60, we've seen enough to know that real health doesn't come from the loudest voices, it comes from the deepest truths. And those truths are often simple, humble, consistent. One of those truths is this: you already have more power over your health than you've been told. The challenge is, in today's world, that power often gets buried beneath noise. One minute, we're told to avoid fruit because of sugar. The next minute, we're told fruit could save our lives. It's confusing, overwhelming, and far too often disempowering. But here's what we believe in this community of silent age wisdom. You don't need to be told what to do. You simply need to be reminded of what you already know deep down. You've lived through decades of change, seen foods fall in and out of fashion, watched health trends rise and fall like tides. But through it all, the most meaningful lessons remain. Eat from the earth, move your body when it's able, rest when it needs to, and trust that small daily actions matter more than grand one-time fixes. That's why when we talk about something like blood clots, a real and serious concern for seniors, we don't just jump to medications or warnings. We also ask, what can we do today in our own kitchens to help our bodies stay strong? And that's where those fruits come in. Not because they're trendy, not because they're part of some exotic diet plan, but because they offer gentle, natural support, often without fanfare or fuss. Yet, here's the key part most people miss. Knowing which fruits may help is only the first step. The real transformation comes when you take that knowledge and do something with it. You see, wisdom means nothing without action, and even the best health advice fades if we don't turn it into a habit. So how do we act? Not by changing everything at once, not by spending hundreds of dollars on rare ingredients, but by choosing every single day to take one step forward. Maybe it means adding half a cup of berries to your morning breakfast. Maybe it means choosing an orange instead of a cookie for your afternoon snack. Maybe it means learning how certain fruits interact with your medications and having a thoughtful conversation with your doctor. Each of these is a small choice, but small choices made consistently have a quiet way of rewriting our future. And when we act, not from fear, but from empowerment, we take our health back into our own hands. No, we may not have full control. Life brings its surprises no matter how careful we are. But we do have influence. We do have a voice. We do have a choice. And that's something no trend, no ad, and no expert can ever take from us. So the next time someone tells you what you should be doing for your health, take a moment, breathe, reflect, and ask yourself, does this align with what I know to be true for me? Because the goal isn't to be perfect. It's to be aware, to be intentional, to be a student of your own body, because no one knows it like you do. That's where the real strength lies, not in doing everything, but in doing the right things for you. So if you've learned about these 14 fruits that may help your body dissolve blood clots, don't just save the information, live it. Try one. See how you feel. Make it a part of your rhythm, not a rule. Let it remind you that you are not powerless, that you still have a say, that your health journey is still in motion and still entirely worth investing in. Because every time you make a mindful choice, you send a message to your body. I care, I'm listening, I'm still here, and I'm still choosing life. And that, dear friend, is not just powerful, it's sacred. So what have we learned today? Nature has quietly given us tools, fruits filled with nutrients that may help our bodies fight off the hidden dangers of blood clots. These aren't fads or gimmicks. They're time-tested, accessible, and beautifully simple. But knowledge alone isn't enough. What matters is what you do next, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, in the choices you make, the meals you prepare, and the care you show your body. So I invite you to take action. Start small. Add one of these fruits to your routine, and most importantly, listen to your body as it responds. If this message spoke to you, share your thoughts in the comments. Which fruits do you enjoy? Have any made a difference in how you feel? Let's learn from each other, and if you'd like more honest, compassionate guidance for your health journey after 60, don't forget to subscribe. You belong here, and you're never too old to grow stronger, wiser, and more empowered. Until next time, stay kind to your body and stay rooted in wisdom.